I can only ask you to be you if I'm prepared to be me. I cannot want you to be if I don't let you in, into my thoughts, into my fears, into my inner being. This is my way of becoming the change I want to see. This is my way of sharing all of me with all of you. This is it. Exposed, unplugged, naked, free. It's nothing really. It's just me.
I'll never be the same because of you. I'm changed for the better, and I just can't explain what it is you've done to me.
There are moments in life, and I can't quite describe it, but there were these like pivotal decision-based moments where I came across a decision and I knew I had to make it, and this was going to be key to the rest of my life. And I made the decision to go ahead with it, whether it was a doctoral program or it was an application for a job, or it was leaving my son um, when he was almost 7, 8 years old, to go to another country for work. Um, all these decisions helped form a basis for me, and and they helped define who I was, and they were made not from any um, mental, emotional kind of decision basis. They were made from my awareness. My awareness said, "Listen, you need to do this," and it almost like the wind, like it just propelled me forward. Right? It didn't. I almost had really no choice. It was almost like I was making the choice, but I felt like something outside of me was actually calling the shots. You know what I mean? And it just naturally just flowed. And I'm wondering if you guys had this experience in your lives where it's just you just feel like you're just being pushed, and you don't quite understand it, but you don't fight it either. There's this moment where you just go, okay, I'm going here. It may not make logical sense, but it's important. And then only a few years later do you realize, wow, that was huge, right? I don't quite know how I knew at the time, but that was huge. That was bloody huge. So I think that's where I'm at now at 50 years old, still lost, still not knowing who I am. Um, but at the same time, I think I'm more and more. Um, I guess I'm more and more aware of of the kind of being that I am. Like there's that awareness of who I am as a being. I know that I'm a protector. I know that I fight for people. I fight for others. I know that I love diversity. Um, I get a better sense of who I am every single day. Um, I don't think I'll ever be able to pinpoint who I am. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Um, but at the same time, I do have a better sense that I'm good in my skin. I guess that's the best way to say it. Is that been this more and more of a synergy between my body and my mind and whatever this awareness thing is, right? And I'd like to just be very open with you and blatant with you that while I love all religion, I love all belief systems. Um, I've got friends that are Catholic, Christian, Buddhist, atheist, agnostic. Um, I love all forms of belief systems because the one thing we know, the one thing we're certain about in this world, to me, is that we're not certain about anything. And a belief system in something, um, something that you feel connected to, something that you feel like is a piece of who you are, and that further extends your awareness of where you fit in the universe, then that's awesome and that's beautiful. That's something that should be cherished and loved. It doesn't matter what that belief system is, right? And for those of you, by the way, that are atheists, I've got a lot of atheist friends. That is a belief system, okay? The belief in the fact that there is no God is a belief in and of itself, because there's no one that can provide evidence of one way or the other. There's no one that can provide evidence that there's a higher level being, um, uh, of intelligence that created us, that was around us, or not. No one knows. So anyone who has a belief system, whether it be, you know, rooted in a religion or rooted in atheism, it doesn't matter. It's a belief system. And to me, I find that as much as I don't participate in any of those belief systems actively within myself, and I'll tell you why in a second, um, I do appreciate and honor all of those belief systems on this world. I believe they're pivotally important. I know that religion has gotten a lot of negative press sometimes, and people who follow their belief systems sometimes are looked at as not being fully aware, open-minded. But I think it's quite the opposite. I think it's the people that follow their belief systems truly um, have an understanding of themselves and their place in the universe that is very profound, and they are aware that we are more than just, you know, four dimensions, space, 3D space and time, that there's something more than that. And if you look at physics and the way that they model the world, I think they're up to about 13 different dimensions that they can prove mathematically right now, on this planet. I think the number keeps going up and down, but it's definitely more than four. So for someone to say, even scientifically, that we are limited to just this space and time, um, that doesn't even make sense, right, scientifically. So we know that there are more dimensions. We don't know what they are. We don't know what they entail. I know I'm physical living proof to me, and no one can refute that my awareness is not my physical self. It's absolutely not. That is the one thing I do know, is that my awareness is not my physical self. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it comes from. I have no real belief system around it. I don't know. I have no idea. Um, but but I know that it's there. I know that I'm there. That it is me. It is my awareness that I exist, that I am here. It's not just some living being going through the motions and just, you know, following the footsteps of their mother and father and their brothers and sisters, or whatever their church says, or whatever their school says or work says. No, there's this separate awareness. You know, there is all that programming that happens both from your external environment and everything else. But I fight that programming a lot of my life. But what am I fighting? What is fighting that? Right? So some people say, oh, we're just a product of our parents and our school and whatever. And I'm like, well, okay, if that's the case, then why am I fighting? Why not just accept it and just move on? Right? Why do I think differently? What is creating that resistance to the programming? That's the awareness. That's the awareness. That's the awareness. That's who I am deep down inside. And there's something more than physical, that's there, that runs it. And I don't know what it is. Now, hopefully, physics can one day merge with, you know, religion and science. And you can read about it in my book about different ways of knowing, where we can start to look at the world more holistically and understand that there are three buckets of knowledge in the world. There is the what I call the physical science, tangible based. There's the non-physical, could be spiritual, could be uh, some other form of non-physical sort of awareness of space. And then there's the experiential base, where we experience things, we go through things, and that's where my awareness lives. It lives in the experience, and it's almost it's almost a combination of physical and non-physical information that triggers it, but there's something else that triggers it that I don't quite understand.
I'll never be the same.